emotional?
Because it reminded you of 115.
Oh.
Good old days.
Okay, hello everybody. And welcome to TrendingSA. Hello everybody, hello.
Hello.
Somebody, anybody.
Hello, everybody.
Which one again? Hello and welcome to TrendingSA.
Chovicho.
What's happening, guys?
Chovichoing.
Yes.
Oh, chovicho.
Okay, one person is here.
It's live.
Sharp. We are live on SABC3 online. We're on TrendingSA.tv. And you know the drill by now. For the next hour, our mission is to bring you up to speed on everything that's happening on the social media streets. Now, she is ready with the threads. Do you know she has been editor of things, beauty editor of things, fashion editor of things, and now she is the trending editor of things. She is Miss Goody Robert.
Hi, guys. I used to be editor. Now I think I'm a little model, but I'm not. I'm just short.
It's the Midgie Minaj.
Sweetie, all we need is Snow Whites.
Yes.
All we need is Snow
Are you
Whites.
grumpy?
Sometimes.
Cookies. Okay, yeah.
Michelle. On my left, she is the princess with the punchlines and ask about her African dream. It's Nina Hasty.
There's a new tomorrow. Hi.
I know that you do that behind the screen.
So this actually is the Midgie Minaj show because we all took off our heels earlier and we are very tiny people.
Bitsy,
So hello, I am Bobby Tiny Molloy. Bobby Midgie Molloy.
I like it.
I'm done. All right. So this week we have a brand new Charlie in the house. He is hilarious. He has a funny bone. He says he's mastered parallel parking. I mean, he's so good at parallel parking. This man has actually added parallel parking to his CV.
Nice.
And it is quite a skill.
Parallel parking.
Let's be honest.
He's not lying.
It's a skill.
I get on the pavement, left, right, and center. He is also a co-host on Doomy's WTF. Can you guess who it is? Can you guess who it is?
Zambia.
Gemini Major.
Stillo.
What?
It is Glenn Peterman Pam!
Hello.
Well, I mean, we already know that you have the incredible moves to be on our show,
Oh, sorry.
but that was your welcoming trick.
That's pure vodka right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
On my
That's how
phone.
you guys keep it so fresh on this show.
On my phone.
Jeez,
Where
sorry.
is Shaga?
I'm so sorry. That's what I need right now. Just because on WTF we serve light drinks, nyana. But here,
Aren't you the barman there?
I am. That's
You're
why.
in control of the whole thing, aren't you?
Pretty much. But I've never served anyone neat vodka. But now I think it's a very good plan because it loosens you up to the point of
Spitting out liquid on my national television.
I'm so sorry. I will clean that up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Shaga's coming back soon.
Well,
Sugar's fly.
okay, this is odd.
Okay.
to be
But
here.
it's fine. Just keep drinking your vodka and let's get you working. What's buzzing on your timeline?
A lot has been buzzing on my timeline lately. I mean, South Africans are taking international TV and film scene, and the film scene. #Pill2C is actually on my timeline for that exact reason. Stay tuned while I update you on that.
I love it. What have you got for us, Nina?
Ooh. So, okay, most of us know him from the hip-hop trio Entity with AKA himself and Klantla. I don't know who Klantla is. Now, he's back with a twist. He's released a book and an album at the same time. Titled Democracy and Delusion, 10 Myths in South African Politics, which has the masses talking. Added to being an author and a rapper, he's an activist. And he's Dali Mpofu's son. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Sizwe Mpofu. And he will be joining us in studio later on in the show. Stay tuned for that and tag us to your questions on 3.
I'm busy reading his book now. Yo.
It's next level, eh?
It's next level, eh? It's next level. All right, so Sis Kuli, what's happening on your timeline?
Is it an easy read, though?
It's next level.
Right. Hashtag Marisburg College was on my timeline, and we're definitely seeing the youth rise up in our country with their own opinions on politics. But like anything else in politics, it's a very emotive subject. And there were definitely those who were for what those boys did and those who were against it. We'll be looking at that.
Listen, so we have our new Charlie joining us for the next 2 days. We're going to get to know him a little bit better, how much he loves the vodka, when he loves the vodka, if he's going to keep the vodka there in the cup. Send through your questions for him by using the hashtag on3. Meanwhile, take part in everything that's going on. Facebook, Instagram, we're there. TrendingSA on Twitter, we're there. At TrendingSA on3. Send through questions, comments, likes. DJ, play us a song.
I'm living my life.
I like this show.
What did you say?
This is fun.
Oh, yes.
Fun. Yeah, I like
I heard another F word, but...
Oh, and also that.
Hello and welcome back to your nighttime trending show. It is TrendingSA. All right, so we're live on SABC3, and of course we're online as well. Thank you very much for all of your comments, quotes, and loves. We just love it. All right, so Skuli, what is you've got posts for us, hey?
Yes, lots of love, lots of love. I'm hoping. Let's check out the posts from the various platforms.
The
social media.
lovers.
Relibuchile says, my funniest friends, couldn't miss your show tonight. I'm living my life. We love you, Relibuchile. Hello, Renande Mlokoti says, I'm watching you all the way from Eslali, guys. Love your crew. Shout out to the Laos. We love Eslali. It's nice and pure. The rural areas. Yeah. Yeah, where people are still safe.
You guys are virtual on the show. Okay.
Thanks for all of the love. And remember, you can have your post read out live on air. All you need to do is use the hashtag TSA-on3. TSA on 3. That stands for Trending SA on 3.
I thought it stood for trending. Okay.
So as you can see, we have a brand new Charlie in the hizzy. He's hard at work, breathing. And he's originally from Cape Town, where he performed in theatre school because he was studying performance.
UCT, baby, you can say it.
And then the world of comedy called him.
Yeah.
And he answered the phone and he discovered he's hilarious.
It was actually private number at first. That was the first thing, private, and then...
You didn't answer it first.
No, exactly. That is how it worked. It was, I didn't know, because I was in theatre first, and then I was doing a lot of comical plays, and I wasn't realizing that actually this is the thing that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And also, you don't have to sit around and wait for the phone to ring as a comedian. You just
Go
do
make
your
things
own
happen.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So people think comedy's easy.
Who are these
But
people?
it is. You just stand there, tell stories.
Just off the cuff. I remember that. I remember that very clearly about my life. Anyway, so people think comedy's easy. You've made it look easy. Tell me, what is your brand of comedy? Like, what type of style would you say you do?
I think it changes. You know this. It changes as you go along. I'm just trying to be as...
You are so funny.
That is ridiculous. See, that's more sort of toilet humor, but that's literally toilet humor.
Scatological.
So that's what I'm saying. It's evolving. Sometimes it's in the toilet, sometimes it's in the bedroom, sometimes it's in the bar, and sometimes it's in the in just your daily life. So whatever happens to you, it goes in that direction.
Goes in that direction. How did you get into this direction? You are on WTF Do Me, and you serve drinks there. Were you from UCT? How did you get onto that show?
So interesting. Tims and I did a story. These pictures you're showing, where are you getting them? I mean, they're so private on Instagram.
Do you have an 8-pack?
No. You see, that was after the show. Now the whole of the essay. Oh my word! No.
Don't worry, nobody cares.
Okay.
Really, they don't.
So Tims and I, we did a play together about 4 years ago, and she was like, yes.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And then it was a play. And then she was like, I'm going to work with you one day. And I'm like, yeah, everyone says that at the rap party. Everyone's like, I'm definitely. And she kept her promise, man. She called me up and she went, I need a co-host and I want you to be the dude. And now I'm here. Well, on the TV, doing the thing.
On the TV. Nice, baby.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
Can I ask you guys something?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so it goes down in the DMs. It goes down in the DMs.
Yeah.
For us, anyway. Does it happen to you? And what has gone down?
Yeah. Some weird things since I got on the show. A lot of people ask me to think I'm a real barman because I do serve drinks on the show. So I get a lot of asking for body shots. When you and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then not weirdly, but in a great way, people. I've had a lot of young kids actually asking me for advice about bullying, which I respond to as many as I can. Because I think we've got quite a bit of that on the show tonight, but I like that. I think that's
Why do people talk to you about bullying?
Why you specifically?
I don't know.
Because they bully
maybe
you?
I've got a face that looked like it's been bullied, but I don't know. It's a very good question.
The wimpy face.
It's the Jew face. There's me and my brother.
No, we love the Jew face. Leave it.
Yeah.
You go to Carmel?
No, that's Herzliya. That's the Jewish school in Cape Town.
Oh, my uncle.
All Jews know each other.
Okay.
Yes, of course. Of course I know.
If you'd like to get in with the Jewish crowd and get to know them all a little bit better, then send through questions for our guest host. You can use the hashtag TSA-on3. He'll do his best to answer you.
What was that?
So you're next. Now we've officially welcomed you to the table. What is happening?
Well, a lot, guys. A lot's happening. Mzansi performers are doing the most internationally through their TV work on the big screen. Trevor is killing it on the Daily Show. Yeah, man, give him props. He's great. He's been given another 3-year contract and probably about $50 million. More billions.
Nice one. Deserves it.
Yeah, and more recently, Kim Engelbrecht. And Neil Sanderland starring in a worldwide superhero series called The Flash. I'm mentioning it because hashtag Pearl Tusi trended this weekend after giving us this hint.
Tusi trended. Tusi trended.
So the hint is God has decided to end my year off like no other. I'm so stressed for my haters now, and I'm assuming those crying faces mean Shem.
Shem.
That's what they say.
So stressed for my haters right now.
Yes, she is.
What's a hater? I wish I had one. I don't have.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still looking for black Twitter. So anyway, the Mama Panther bagged yet another big one. This time it's a movie alongside US actor.
Nice one, beautiful.
Mackie, and we know him from Captain America and the Avengers. Pearl's film is called Blue Mauritius, and she's got a nice plum roll on there. So congrats to the Black Pearl. Have a look at social media with that Pearl celebrating and flying the SA flag high. Nice.
Yes,
go,
Queen.
You go, girl.
You go, baby. Nice one, nice one, nice one.
Look at that. Pearl Tusi is going for an international movie. # Blue Mauritius. Well done, Sissy.
Nice one,
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what that means. And then now this is what I call making super moves. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. See, I just see love there. I just see love.
Me too.
Now, I never thought this would happen, guys. # Mel Bala found herself trending on my timeline as a long-time sweetheart of Zwei, and Mel called it quits after 9 years of marriage. They called it quits after 9 years of marriage. Very, very devastated. The two released a statement on Twitter, and this is what it reads. Basically, we confirm that we have separated and divorce proceedings are underway. We have come to a mutual decision. We always conducted ourselves as privately as possible within the public space in which we work, and ask for privacy and respect for ourselves and especially our children as we go through this process. So sorry, guys. This comes after friends Unati and Thomas, my cousin, confirmed last week that the two have been separated for some time. The couple asked for privacy as well while they go through this process. But social media had their own opinion. Take a look. Liverpool till I die says seems like everybody is divorcing these days. Anomfundo Ngobo says, I remember the first time she read the news after she got married and she introduced herself as Melanie Bala. This is a lot. Usaba Guru pretty much summed it all up. Have a look. Uti, Unati, this is Khumutso Cyber Guru. Unati and Thomas broke up, Trevor Gumbi and Lucille broke up, Zoibala and Melanie broke up, and you still wonder why I'm single. Hey guys, I think I'm the only divorcee here. Divorce is horrible.
It's like a death.
Divorce is like a death. It's
like a death.
Divorce is hideous. It's hideous.
This is why I've got 5 boyfriends. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Yes, Queen!
Wow.
2017.
What are those plants that like impregnate themselves?
What? Hey?
Yeah. So from one sad story, this really is a disgusting story. Okay, so listen to this. It's # Soweto School. It was all over the news since last week. So initially, 53 children were said to have been molested by a Scholar Patrol guard. And then more children came forward, and that number now has risen to 87 children. The youngest child said to have been molested is in grade R.
That's shocking.
So since then, school management has suspended the guard, and he has been arrested. So at Chulayo M responded with a bit of her advice. Have a listen, have a look. Mommy Bear says, one thing we must take from this Soweto school is that we must have a monitored sex offenders list and vet everyone to be hired in the schools. That is so important.
Just the guy we heard that guy was vetted.
Oh, that's so important. Our friend Khani Magubani, she says she's more concerned about how this was kept under the carpet for so long. How do teacher and the principal protect a predator? I'm at a loss for words. We are ill at a deep, deep level.
The question is, how did all these little girls get molested without anyone knowing? Here are a few telltale signs when something untoward is happening to a child and they're unable to speak up for any reason. Here are the signs. The child becomes unusually secretive or clinging, changes in eating habits, sudden mood swings, rage, fear, insecurity, or withdrawal. Physical signs are such as an unexplained soreness or bruises on the body, leaves clues that seems like likely to provoke a discussion about sexual issues. These are some of the signs, but what it all boils down to is we just need to speak to our kids as parents. What we need to do is we need to teach them there are good touches and there's bad touches.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will drive you over if I find out that you've done that to my child. Anyway.
Be aware, fam. Be aware. Be aware of what your children are telling you. All right. Hashtag Bram suicide found itself trending when 19-year-old Wit student Kago Moeng committed suicide by jumping to her death from a 6th floor of a student residence at the University of Johannesburg in Braamfontein residence this past weekend. So, according to social media, instead of being helped, apparently eyewitnesses say that people told her to jump. So unfortunately, we did try to get hold of some of the eyewitnesses to talk to us, but we were unsuccessful, and understandably so. So law student Solani Sibanda, who seems to have been at the scene when it happened, posted this on his Facebook page.
Sure.
Okay, so she died in front of us. I couldn't help in any way. The people that were supposed to have saved her life told her to jump off the balcony. Some of her fellow students at South Point, the detective that was sent to negotiate it, made it worse in seconds, and South Point management failed to simply save the student from killing herself. Now she's dead. I'm in total shock, disgusted by some of the students, the 4 girls from Wits, the car guards, and a number of guys who were shouting and telling the girl to jump and that she was an attention seeker. No one, even South Point, thought of calling the fire station or put mattresses or something in the pavement before she jumped. This girl gave us enough time to save her, but instead we encouraged the pressure she was fighting to take over. The whole matter was handled very poorly. My heart is in pieces. Rest in peace, girl. We should have done enough to help you.
Sure.
So the post sent waves across social media, and this is what Malkiampo said. Suicide has no face. A person can have the biggest smile and still be fighting a mental war nobody knows about. Hashtag Bram suicide. Another tweet posted this. Mampane_Charles says, we live in a society where the broken are expected to heal each other. Most of us black kids come from broken homes where depression is viewed as a weakness or a curse. Hashtag Bram suicide. This death is another example of someone suffering in silence, which makes her death all the more tragic as it could have been prevented. And in October, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, mental illnesses like depression are very real and needs to be dealt with because people suffer alone until something like this happens. Let us be alert if we see our loved ones retreating, being antisocial, using words like, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore. Listen to the language that people are using. Let's be concerned. If you suffer from depression, please call the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, SADAG. This is the number, 011 234 4837. We're going to post it on our social media so that you can get that assistance. Condolences to the family and friends of Kago Moeng. Rest in peace, precious princess.
You know what? Our show is about social media. We talk a lot about what happens on social media, and I know SADAG is very, very active on social media as well. So look for them there. If you don't want to make a phone call, if you just want to be kind of on the periphery looking in, then you can do that there and you can get lots of really great advice. Let us take a quick break now. This is TrendingSA on SABC3. Those aren't really my dance moves. These are my dance moves.
Glenn, are you okay?
Good to be back.
Hey.
Good to be here.
And hey.
I like that song.
Guys, music is live, eh? Whew, this lituation that continues right here on SABC3. This is Trending SA, where the stage is yours, darling. Girl. Thanks for the love on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Speaking of all the love, let's see what else you're saying about us tonight.
I was love.
Who is this? Perfected Reflex. Love the grand entrance. Love, 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 love.
That was great.
Thank you.
I never get to do that, you know. We're always welcoming guests on the show, so
Yeah.
it's nice to come out and do the thing for a change.
You want to come out?
Do you want to do it again? Do you want
Come
to
out, yeah. You know, no,
Coming
thanks.
out.
We
Can you
carry on.
sing? I'm coming out. I want the world to know. You gotta let it know. I'm coming. Is it you two all young? Okay, just us old ladies singing songs.
Alright, so don't forget to send us questions for our guests later on. You can use the hashtag #on3. Listen, it has really been a gloomy day on social media today. Hashtag Somalia attack was still dominating my feeds as the death toll kept rising. 300 people, guys. 300 people are said to have died after a truck with massive explosives exploded in the city's capital, Mogadishu. Look at this footage. It's so frightening. It destroyed hotels, government offices, restaurants. It just caused devastation. So this has become the deadliest terror attack in Somalia since the Islamist Al-Shabaab group launched its insurgency in 2007. We really hope international media gives this story the attention it needs, and other nations jump in with aid at this difficult time for Somalia. All right, so let's talk about another somber thing. This time it's Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, that's one.
All right, you've heard the story, right?
Yeah.
Time and time again. Okay, so Harvey Weinstein, super mogul movie producer, he was outed as a sex predator not so long ago, and it sparked a lot of conversations around issues of sexual harassment as a whole. So Alyssa Milano posted that she too had been a victim of sexual harassment, and you know, in response, a whole lot of people posted hashtag me too. So this is what Alyssa was saying: if you've been sexually harassed, if you've been assaulted, write me too and reply to this tweet, because you know, if all women got together and said hashtag me too, this just gave me goosebumps seeing my name and me too. It's very real. It's very, very real. And I think what Alyssa was trying to say is, I think we talk about these things almost flippantly sometimes, but when you look at how many women around you have been in some way sexually harassed, have been in some way abused, I mean, this is really powerful and it's really sad. So have a look at some of the people that participated in the Me Too campaign. Gabrielle Union. I mean, this is a superstar actress. And she was abused. This is Nick Jack Papas saying, you know, you don't say you have a mother, sister, or daughter. You say you have a father, brother, or son can do better. We all can. That's amazing. Another person saying, me too, harassed several times, like every woman I know. Women who've only been harassed and not assaulted can consider ourselves lucky. Just think about that sentence. If you've only been harassed and not assaulted, then somehow you are fortunate. This is the world that we live in right now, and it has to stop. It absolutely has to stop. And I think toppling characters like Harvey Weinstein makes a bit of a difference. It sends a message, at least, and he's just one of the many culprits. I mean, we hope the spotlight on this issue will help to out other women to get these sexual predators once and for all put behind bars and this behavior stopped. So, Skuli, do you have news?
Shocking, shocking, shocking. Nina and I were talking, I know you're going to say Michelle, but we were talking about the fact that we should also address this women, because women also are responsible for sexually harassing many men.
So you know, like we joke about it, you know, but men are victims of sexual assault too. And because, I mean, I don't know why, but everybody needs to be cognizant of how they treat everybody else.
But I get very nervous that that is used as a counter to, you know, Me Too as a woman's issue, because I think that there are issues about people need to respect each other, but I get scared when people go, oh yeah, but women also abuse men, to kind of deflect from the abuse that's happening. Yes.
We were just saying sometimes there are spaces when women are not aware. They're not necessarily.
Case in point, when young students are, you know, sexually coerced by their teachers, their female teachers, and the boys all go, oh, you know, you're so lucky, but it's actually abuse.
Yeah, and coming out and saying kind of like, because men are meant to have this like real like ego and this big like macho, oh, no one can touch me kind of thing. It's a lot. It can be very difficult for men because you look really weak and vulnerable.
Of course, and then the police station, when they go to the charge office, they laugh at them. Guys, let's talk about...
So it's all got to stop, basically, is what we're saying.
It's good news for the 3 Maritzburg boys whose disciplinary hearing is being put on hold, but only for now, after a picture they uploaded of themselves went viral on social media. Now, let me take you back a bit. Hashtag Maritzburg College was trending over the weekend because these 3 pupils posed in their school uniform holding up T-shirts with a rather revolutionary message. Take a look.
Wow, okay, that looks... And also England, ex-England cricket player Kevin Peterson, who happens to also be a former Maritzburg College boy, but who goes by the name @KP24, responded to the pic on Twitter and felt the wrath of tweeps when he made this comment. It says, Maritzburg College, what the hell is this? Sorry, it's in capitals, so you must shout. Total disrespect for once. Great school. Are you joking? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. Then 3 angry faces. So he's, I think, probably feeling dissatisfied.
Yeah.
You know, you need to explain that because sometimes it's difficult to tell.
Yeah.
But Floyd Shibangu saw the woke post from the students, and we'll check what he had to say. He said, the future of the EFF right here. So 2 sides of the story, I suppose. Pupils still have to face an internal disciplinary hearing for breaking the school's conduct, but in the meantime, the Department of Education is still yet to launch a full-scale investigation of multiple allegations of racism at the school. These allegations have actually come up in the wake of conversations about this post. So, lots happening there.
Lots happening, but the boys do not have to worry because social media is backing them. Look at the heavyweights who are backing them. Big names, Mas Jongin. Advocate Nuka Toipi. Oh, am I closer? Advocate Nuka Toipi said this. Uti, no charge sheet used against these boys for expressing their free speech shall prosper. We are behind them all the way. Hashtag AsiGiki. And Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi weighed in on the matter with this post. They're not leading a march inside the school premises or disrupting schooling. They're just expressing a view which is within their rights. That is Panyaza Lesufi.
All right, so Tumi Sol responded to Kevin Peterson and reminded us of a 2016 image by a matriculant from a school, from the same school, who had a shirt with this flag on it.
We look closer and it was a swastika.
Yeah, so essentially, that's...
What did they call these boys?
Are we okay with that?
Application of discipline.
Yes.
That's the call.
Yeah. Essentially. And also when Julius Malema saw that the boys were under fire for their wokeness, he was quick to jump in on what the matter on the matter with this tweet. I'm told that at Maritz College is threatening to suspend these fighters for expressing their political views. We are ready for them. KZN, be ready. What were you saying, Claire?
I was saying I wish you did that in Julius's accent, but it's
no, that's very racist. Pardon?
What I find amazing is about I'm told. Meanwhile, we also on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, isn't a school supposed to be a microcosm of what happens in the world? And so everyone has their opinions. But anyway, okay, these boys remind me of other woke protests that took the world by storm. They woke us up. Like the recent NFL #KneelFL trend in the USA that is causing a furore. So the campaign saw NFL players kneeling during the singing of the national anthem in protest over racial injustice in the USA. So Abu Donald, he was just very angry. Vice President Pence, he even left an NFL game because the players took a knee during the anthem.
And who can forget that lovely Rozoleka? Remember when Anina Nanas? Uzoka. Remember Zoleka, Pretoria?
Yeah, sorry, the stuff is all very upsetting today. I actually can't deal with Zoleka and the Pretoria Girls High students who protested against the school's rules and African pupils' hair, remember? Anyway, so guys, I'm telling you, young people are rising up. I'm seeing the makings of 1976 brewing. Give young people an ear. They are woke. They won't shut up. They won't take it. And I'm glad we are speaking to Sizwe tonight because maybe we can touch a bit on that youth activism. I'm excited about that.
Brilliant. I'm very, very excited about that. Is that coming up in the next segment? Yes, it is. Okay, so we will have Sizwe right here. We'll be talking about his amazing new book and what his thoughts are on what's happening in South Africa at the moment. That's what's coming up on Trending SA on SABC3. Sizwe Mpofu Walsh next. Hello, we're back. You're still watching Trending SA on SABC3. Thank you so much for all of your tweets, all of your Facebook posts and your Insta posts. We're receiving them all the way through the show. Now listen, it does feel like tonight's show has been reflecting on a lot of bad news, sad news, but I really think that this interview is going to lift our spirits quite a bit. Of course, it is steeped in reality of what's happening in our country, but there might be a ray of sunshine in our future of South Africa, right? Nina, tell us about our guest.
Absolutely. So he's known as the People's Advocate's son. While to hip-hop aficionados, he's known as the social conscious rapper. He was in a rap group, Entity, back in the day with AKA and Klantla, and a lot has changed since then because today he's sitting here with a master's degree in international relations from Oxford University. Mind you, with a cum laude, y'all. This is no small thing. He's also the author of an award-winning book, Democracy and Delusion, The 10 Myths in South African Politics. And because he can rap too, the book is accompanied by, show us their pups. Here we go. A rap album. In 2014, he accurately predicted some pretty interesting things about South African politics, and today he joins us to talk all about that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise for Sizwe Mpofu.
Yes. How are you, sir?
Do you not young Madiba dance?
I don't dare, but do the diva dance.
A young Madiba in the making. Listen, welcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know, Sis Pabi, if you know, but we were actually at the same school together.
I'm very much aware.
And I remember asking you when I was about 9 years old what your future plans were. And you said, it's a really long story, but in the end, I'm really famous and I have a lot of money. So, here we are.
1 out of 2. 1 out of 2. All right, so let's get into it. I mean, the work that you're doing, the politics in your life and in your blood, I mean, it runs very deep.
Sure.
So let's talk about, the influences in your decision to move into the space, to study in the space, and ultimately to, be so vocal in the space.
Well, this project is really almost 10 years in the making. Obviously, as a young teenager, I was in music, and then I kind of disavowed hip-hop because I thought it was misogynistic and materialistic, and I was holier than thou. And I went to university, started studying, becoming political, went to Oxford. And while I was in Oxford, towards the end, I started thinking, how can I bring all these different strands of myself together? Instead of trying to compartmentalize my life, how could I give everything that's a part of me into one project? And that's really how this was born. I thought, wow, if I could write a book and an album at the same time and try and hit people in the head and the heart, that could be something that could really incite a new generation.
That's so now. That's very great.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because we're multi-screen, we're multi-stimuli constantly. How would you say politics have shaped you?
Look, I grew up in a political family. A lot of people actually think my father was the main influence, but my mother is actually probably more of a political influence. She was an activist. She actually beat my father to a branch chair election back in the day, and she's really political as well. So both of my parents care a lot about the country and are feeling very disappointed with where the country is. And so that's always been a part of my DNA, I suppose. But politics is a bit stale, and I thought for a while, how do I do something that actually makes people think and not just turn off? Because as soon as you talk about politics, people tend to turn off. And so music was kind of a gateway to a political message that wasn't so direct and obvious.
Speaking of your parents, I'm quite interested to know, because when I heard Sizwe Mpofu Welsh was coming on the show, I know that's a double-barrel surname like Beedham and Pam. Where does the Welsh come from? Because it doesn't, your parents are...
The Welsh is actually my mom's maiden name. My family history is long and interesting. Family gatherings are like a meeting of the UN General Assembly. But a lot of people ask me, and I actually get this on social media a lot, like, why have you put Welsh in? What is this colonial influence on your name? And actually, I decided to add it to show my mother's role in raising me.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times people, just don't acknowledge. And we have this very patrilineal system.
Using words like this? I mean,
Glenn, I think we need to go back and get better education.
I thought UCT was... now we are talking patrilineage? Okay.
So that's the Welsh once and for all.
Good to know. Yeah. Good to know.
Brilliant. So the Oxford that you went to, are those the people that wrote the dictionary? The same Oxford?
That is the Oxford, that Oxford. Those ones.
I love it. All right, so everybody knows your dad,
Yeah.
and his involvement has been of late so much more kind of magnified in media. He's been so involved with politics and changing from the ANC to the EFF, as we know. How has he influenced your ideology, following the way he thinks?
Well, you know, a lot of people know my dad from what they see on the TV screens, but they actually don't know his story.
Of course.
So he was his matric class's maths teacher. There was one scholarship for one black student in the Eastern Cape to get to Wits, and he got it, studying by candlelight. And I know the places he comes from. So his story inspires me to the extent that, and I think a lot of black South Africans know this, just anyone who's made it to any kind of level in success in society has overcome the most unimaginable odds. But we criticize them as if they're just normal people, and they're actually all these ridiculous heroes.
Heroes, yeah.
So his story, and the unknown story, I really wish he would write a book, because it would really shock a lot of people who
He
think
won't?
they know.
He doesn't want, he's too busy.
We're pushing him to, but yeah.
He's representing people.
This is all very fascinating, but it's not about you.
Oh, here we go.
It's about you when I'm just like, Kaya. First time I saw you walking around with a walking stick, when I thought that, oh, Charlotte, that's crazy, man. But let's talk about entity. Let's push it back.
Yeah.
Why did you, why were you part of a hip-hop group?
You know, I went to St. John's College in high school. We've been speaking about this Maritzburg College fiasco. And, you know, it was a really white environment. And hip-hop became a place where we saw confident black expression for one of the first times, you know, and the people in my class got together, we started rapping, and we, oh my goodness, you're playing this?
Was that hilarious?
Wow, okay, we're currently trying to delete this from the internet, but so, yeah, hip-hop just became this interesting avenue where we saw a different side of blackness while we were feeling quite isolated, and I think that's why we gravitated towards it. Obviously, we were also teenagers. We wanted to be cool
And famous.
and you know, we thought hip hop was an interesting.
AKA
new
states
genre.
in music when I'm busy, master cum laude is
I want to
Tell us about that. Why did you not continue with the music? Sorry, Lala.
No.
And
Sure.
why did you go into academia?
You know, we actually recorded a second album that never came out, and
Tupac.
and I went to live in the Eastern Cape for a year in the rural areas, and we were trying to record the second album, and then I was going to go to university at UCT.
UCT?
Come on, that's
Shout
it. That's
out.
the one. I mean, it's not Oxford, but
hey,
we try.
but
We
hey.
try. We give it our best shot. Come on.
It starts with a J.
Never went there.
Yeah, and so we kind of just went our separate ways, and I think Kiernan always really was passionate about just the music, whereas the other two of us were passionate about a whole range of things, and so he was really keen to do his solo thing, and we were going to university, so
Excuse
that's how
me,
it ended.
before we have to ask you to go, which is sad because I'd like to talk to you for an hour. Let's talk about this book.
Yes.
Okay, so 10 myths in South African politics. There's a couple of interesting ones. This land reform that threatens stability, myth 3 is very interesting. Do you want to maybe highlight one or two of the myths?
Sure.
Or to tell us, one or two that you think are very important in this book.
Okay, cool. Well, one of them is about elite schools, just talking about the Maritzburg College thing and speaking about the fact that our public school system is in crisis, but everyone thinks the private school system is this oasis. But in actual fact, you have to choose...
Races.
Oh, snap! You have to choose, right, between this apartheid culture dressed up as excellence or a public school system that's in crisis. And so we have a real problem, and we need to, these schools must become a battleground, and we must not let them go, because I believe that apartheid didn't die, it got privatized. And these schools are where apartheid got decentralized into, and we need to fight this every step of the way. The land reform chapter is interesting because a lot of people think, oh no, if there's land reform, there'll be the Zimbabwean-style crisis and South Africa will go up in flames. Well, in actual fact, every successful economy has changed from a colonial land system or a feudal land system into formal land rights. That's the royal road to economic development, and we still have this colonial system. And, a lot of people say, oh, but we have to train a generation of farmers in order for land reform. And I'm like, since when do you need to be a farmer to be a landowner? To be a landowner, you just need a nice bank account, someone pays you rent, and you sit there. It's the easiest job in the world. We don't need a generation of farmers, but that's one of the delay tactics people use to suggest land reform must be put off and put off.
What do you aim to achieve with the album and the book in congruency? What is the ultimate goal for you?
Sure. You know, a book can persuade if it's well written, but an album can inspire, and I think ultimately we need both. We need people to be persuaded that the path we're on is the wrong one, and we need to persuade them that there are different choices we can make. But that never happens unless there's fire in your belly.
Yeah.
You know, and music can create the fire that can spark that change. And so I want to spark the change, but also argue for the change at the same time.
Sure.
Are we expecting collabos?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, on the album, there's an incredible poem from Lebo Mashile on land. And it just gives me chills every time.
So you know what? There are a lot of socially conscious, politically conscious rappers in the industry.
Yeah.
So we're going to test your knowledge a little bit. We're going to.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Now you tell me.
Yes.
Okay.
It's called
prizes.
How Woke Are You?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Are you wide awoke?
All right, so listen to this guy. There's a silhouette that you're going to see somewhere.
Okay.
He was born in Compton. He went to the same school. Don't look like you already know. I've just given one clue.
Come on now.
He went to the same school as Dr. Dre. His album in 2015 was going to be a tribute to the legendary Tupac. Some people call him K. Dot after his alter ego, Kung Fu Kenny. Who is it? How woke are you? Caesar and Pofu Welsh.
I'm gonna go with Eminem. That's
Kung Fu Kenny.
Yep.
I thought you were
Kendrick
going to
Lamar.
actually say Kenny Kunene, but that's a complete...
Well, you know.
Kendrick Lamar doesn't know it, but we're related. Anyway, so
Funny, so we must be related then.
absolutely, because we're
Interesting.
brothers.
Cool,
All right, so this next one, this next silhouette.
Silhouette. Give us the first clue.
All right, so the Protestant Joe.
I knew the answer before it even
He's
came.
deemed the sixth best-selling artist in the United States and the best-selling hip-hop artist globally. He has sold more than 172
Who could
million
it
albums,
possibly
making him one of the
be?
world's most
Wow.
best-selling albums.
It's Jay-Z.
He recently took a public
This is
jab
so
at Trump.
hard,
Who is he?
so hard.
I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar.
This week, Mom Spaghetti.
Baby, bring it back home, baby.
already.
Marshall Mathers.
Yes.
Bring it back home.
Well, listen, the
Clever
book
name.
is called Democracy and Delusion, and
Yes.
the album is the same title, and people can get it where...
All good bookstores, and the album is, buy it from my website.
Okay.
It's on all the streaming platforms as well. So
Fantastic.
just Google album and book and you'll find it.
Brilliant. So great to talk to you.
Thank you so
This
much.
is a really, really powerful document about where we are as a country. Well, both
Appreciate
of
it.
them, you know. A good comment. This is Caesar and Pofu Walsh on TrendingSA. I nearly said my radio station. Trending. Must I really tell people this? Fine. He can be your MCM, he can be your intelligentsia MCM, but he has been married for 6 years to this beautiful, weirdo girl, just beautiful, gorgeous. So just have integrity. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is TrendingSA on 3.
Cut my hair off because it is not wanted and it is dirty.
Pardon my ignorance, I got 2 weeks off, I bought 2 G-Stars, I got Fuji songs in my starter edition.
tomorrow I'll have done something about my eyebrows. I apologize to everybody.
What's wrong with your eyebrows?
They're just high, apparently. So I'll bring them down. We're ready to wrap up the show. If you missed it, don't worry. We have all our episodes available on TrendingSA.tv. Before I go, I was scrolling through my feeds, right? And there was this guy conducting a police choir. This guy has a PhD in conducting a choir performance. Have a look at this guy.
What, a puller Down syndrome?
Yes! I love South Africa! Why just do it? Just do it with excellence, eh? So Nina will be leading us out with the dance and the link till tomorrow at 9:30. Thank you, Nina.
We're gonna do the dance.
Yeah.
Wait.
And guys, don't forget Trevor Gumbi is coming tomorrow.
And then when he does what?
goodness.
Trevor you guys are gonna sing. Hold on.
Oh, Trevor Gumbi is coming tomorrow.
I'm excited, Trevor.
Right here on TrendingSA. Someone show Nina. She's actually the focal point. Catch us tomorrow on TrendingSA. Only on SABC.
I love you guys.
Oh, great.
But to see na move ali abu ongafuna ukusuka sana